Good morning, Faith's families. I'm Jacob Hackett. Uh, in just a few short weeks, our, our students, staff members, and many other people in school systems will be heading back to begin the first, what is probably going to be a full in-person school year. First time that will happen since the pandemic began in March of 2020. You, you left us questions, you've left us your concerns. What will this next school year bring? So, Isabel Mosca and I decided, hey, let's bring on an expert to see what she can give us. What will this school year look like? I have some of your questions right here on paper. It is my pleasure to introduce the Assistant Superintendent of the Cape May County Special Service School District, Jamie Moscone.
Hi, Jacob. I'm looking forward to speaking with you, and thank you for having me here in this interview.
Thank you for being here. Jamie, my first question is, if speaking, I'll start it off in a parental point of view. If you're speaking to the parents, how would you tell them to get the new year off to a good start? Because I know a lot of parents are very concerned, as we said, with, okay, the masking, the this, like they have a multitude of concerns.
Yeah. So Jacob, that's a really good question. So how do we work with our parents and support our parents to get our students back? So I think what I would tell parents, and what I do tell parents, is that we meet each student where they are, both academically and emotionally. This has been a very difficult time for all of us for the last 18 months. So what we want to do is just really support our students as they return to school, provide a social and emotional curriculum that supports their needs wherever they are. Some students have some stress about returning to school. Some of our staff have that. So I think providing an environment where it's welcoming, it's engaging, and that the students, the staff, and the families, that they know that our top concern is the health and wellness of our students. So we're going to do whatever it takes to do our best to keep our building open to in-person instruction. And I think we do that by just keeping those lines of communication with families open. It's all about communication.
Yeah, communication. And I know of a former, I'm not sure if she still works in Cape May or not. I will tell you her name when we finish. Anyway, she told me that last year you guys were on an A-B schedule rotation.
Yep.
And that was difficult, I'm sure, because you're trying to keep everyone contained, and then who's at home, who's not there. So that's, I'm sure, a hurdle you're looking forward to getting rid of.
So Jacob, our schedule last year, when the pandemic just came out, our main focus was just, making sure that everyone could return safely. And so with the guidance that was provided by the state, we had to start with a hybrid, because we needed that 6 feet. So we did 2 days, 1 week, and 2-day, 3-day rotation. So we did that for a couple months, and then we really, we were able to realize, because of the amount of space in our building, we could bring back everybody. And so that's what we did in phases, and we were able to bring everyone back to in-person instruction. I think it was by November, December, everyone was here. So we're very pleased. We're very, we wouldn't have been able to do it without our staff and our families working together. And that's going back to that communication, keeping the lines of communication open, and really working together, being cooperative, and just saying, hey, if you have a problem, come to us. We'll work it out together.
And that's just like saying, I'm gonna jump off topic for just a second. That's how it should be in all school systems, hey, if you have a problem, reach out to us. I've
Mhm.
I had a teacher on here about a month ago that I'm friends with in the Absecon school district. He said, "Hey, if you think you have a different way for me to teach your child, tell me,
Mhm.
communicate. The, if we if I don't if you don't tell us, we don't know how to help you."
Right.
And it's true.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just being able to have those conversations, and some of them are tough. The whole dilemma and controversy over masks versus no masks. Do you wear them? Do you not wear them?
Yeah.
I think for us, it's just about we're following an executive order by the governor. And we want to keep our buildings open for in-person instruction. And what we know is that if you wear masks, we can have in-person instruction. If you socially distance, we can have in-person instruction. We can do it safely. And I think our parents really understand that. They might not always agree with it, but they understand that in order to have in-person instruction, we have to follow that executive order and to keep everybody safe.
Oh yeah, certainly. And I I do have a question that is not on here that I just thought of after you were saying executive orders. And as I said, I didn't write it here, but
Mhm.
what I know when I was at special services, you had opportunities to go out in the public and physically work in like workspaces. How were you guys doing that last, yeah, last year and going forward?
Yep. So when the pandemic hit in March of 2020, we did, when we had to shift to virtual programming, so did our CDI programs. They shifted to virtual. So we were providing that type of program online. So once the students came back, we were able to do in-house training. So we created different opportunities and courses for them to complete in our buildings, which were safer than having to go out into the community. So we have a business center, we have a food bank, we have a restaurant, we have carpentry and auto, and we have a bagel cart that we're reinstating this year. So lots, and then we work in our facility. Some students work in our facilities department as well. So we created different opportunities in-house. And then once the kids came back, we started to work with our community vendors where our students are placed. And in the summer, well, actually, at the end of June, end of May into June, we started to send our students back out into the community. And that's where they were working at the ShopRites and the Acmes and at the Cape May County Zoo. We had a farm stand there this year, which was highly successful. The kids loved it. They also work at Congress Hall in various locations. And then there's some mom and pop stores throughout Cape May County where our students are placed. So right now they're back in the community. Right now, and as long as we can keep them there in a safe environment, we'll continue to do so. So that's where we are now.
Yeah, well, that's great because I was in March of 2020, I was working, as you know, in the building at
Mhm.
special services.
Yeah.
And, just in talking to the structures learning experience teachers last year with person-centered planning and other things, they were working in-house and they said to me they were openly and honest in saying that it was really hard to find jobs for the kids to do within the building.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. It is difficult, but you know what? I think we have a lot of great minds in our buildings, and we can be creative. And I think as long as we continue to be flexible and creative, we can meet those needs if we ever had to pivot back to in-house CBI programming.
Okay, you kind of answered this, but with new with the ever with the ever changing rules in place, how can you best be support to your families? Because to me, you turn on the news, one day you hear something, then the next day the world goes upside down and then like the earth again.
Yeah. So Jacob, that's a really good point. And I think my staff will tell you, we just have to be flexible. You have to be flexible, but, and we all have to realize we're all in this together. You know, we're a team and we have to work as a team. So when information is shared with us and there's new procedures that are told that we should be, that are recommended to us to enforce, we need to consider them. We need to work as a team and we need to implement them. We all want what's best for our kids. And I think everyone would agree that in-person instruction is best for our kids. So in order to do that, if we have to wear a mask, if we have to socially distance, if we have to wash our hands a bunch of times during the day and make good choices to do it, then that's what we're going to do. You know, my staff really, they did an amazing job this past year. You know, we had our therapists in full PPE with masks and visors. We had people separated throughout the buildings using different rooms so they could continue to social distance and continue to do in-person related services. I mean, it's just amazing what we thought was not possible, what we could do when we did it together. So that's what I would tell parents. Just be flexible, be open to new changes, and realize that we're all in it together.
Yeah, we're all in this together.
We are.
Yes, we are. If you like, this was a question written by a parent that Isabel sent me and bulleted that was not written clearly, so I will try to explain this. If a student, if the student has a newer teacher starting within the next week, like what would be most beneficial? Because I know you probably hired some new teachers and changes were implemented, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. So, Jacob, especially in a pandemic, staffing is a big concern. You know, trying to find the available staff to come in and work in our buildings, and that's not just at special services. That's in any comprehensive school across the country, probably across, you know, international. You know, so what we do is, you know, we hire and we try to hire the best candidate for positions, our open positions. But there's a lot of training that gets involved in that. You know, in our last board meeting, we hired 4 teachers, 6 teacher aides, and probably 20 to 30 one-to-one aides, you know, and we're going to continue to do that, you know, to be able to keep our buildings open. So we do ongoing trainings like most schools. So we have a new hire orientation that the teachers, you know, go through targeted training, you know, CPI training, CPR training, curriculum training, you know, behavior training. There's all sorts of different trainings and that are mandatory from the state of New Jersey, but also that are just good for, you know, individual districts. So there's an orientation that happens. And during that time, one of the topics that are discussed is how to reach out to families, you know, how to reach out to your students, your new students, you know, and families can do that. They can send emails to their new teacher and they can say, hey, you know, I would like to know a little bit about you, or, you know, what's your, you know, instructional philosophy? Like, you know, here are some things that my child learns best. It's about creating those opportunities for communication, and that can be done through email. That can be done by phone calls. That can be done, you know, on if you do back to school nights, you know, whether that's in person or virtual. It's just staying connected to the school and creating those opportunities for communication. So that's what I would suggest to the parent.
Yes, and hey, that could even be done. You listed all those reasons, but all those options.
Mm-hmm.
But that could also be done this way too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, through a Zoom meeting.
You can do it.
Absolutely.
You could even do
Exactly.
it through a Zoom. You know, I almost want to say your options are endless, but well, your options are endless. Your options are basically limitless.
Yeah. Right. And you know what? And a phone call might work one time and a Zoom call might work another. So you just be flexible.
Yeah, you gotta be flexible. Thankfully for technology. How can staff and school communities work together to provide the best best possible opportunities for your students.
I think, just creating opportunities for our students. It's best to get involved. Our families and our school community, they work together. And I think that they need to continue to do that, sharing information and resources. This past summer, there was a lot of different opportunities for students to be able to get involved in the community. I had learned about this Fish for Life organization where they were giving, fishing trips out to students with special needs, and they went out of Wildwood. And it's an all-day free fishing trip, lots of supports, lots of great opportunities for making friends. I think providing those opportunities, like the Field of Dreams and Special Olympics, getting involved that way. That's how our families and our students can work together, by providing these types of opportunities and sharing the resources. Those are some strong ideas, and suggestions.
And I mean, Field of Dreams is reopening. We had a modified spring. I work from home because I was just vaccinated, not ready to return. But I will send you our information when we reopen and faces, because we need people to start getting involved.
Yep.
Like our boards are getting older. If you want these programs to continue, people, let's start stepping up to the plate.
No pun intended.
Exactly, no pun intended. This is kind of a lead into my my next bullet. Ideas and encouragement to assist parents when joining a support group, because everybody's different.
Yeah. So I think just learning about the different groups that are available, the community resources. I think, when joining a group, like it could be the special education group in your own school, learning, it's nice to build that formal support and informal support with other parents, with other teachers, with other community members. So what I would say is just learn about the different organizations before you join them, and then say, what's their vision, what's their mission of those groups, and what can you do to support that mission, and how will that directly impact and improve your own outcomes, or the outcomes for your own child. So just reaching out and just finding out more information.
Exactly. And I'm going to piggyback off of what you said. Join your CPAGs, join your groups, because without your implementation, the schools aren't going to know how to move forward without you. And I will say that again, without you. And I'll tell you personally, in September, I was invited by a parent from Span, one of the parents that works there, said, why, I'm a part of ACIT's Special Education Parent Advisory Group. Why don't you come and join us? So I'm hopefully, if nothing changed, I will be on their CPAG come September as an alumni and as a parent, as a county or community support. And you guys know, because I've worked with you for so many years, if you guys need anything from me, faces, PCPs, anything like that, just reach out, because you said it and I'll say it. People need to be involved. Don't be scared to get your child involved in activities.
Exactly.
That's how you make friends. That's how you connect with parents. That's how you can tell your stories.
Great point, Jacob.
So, yeah. Yep. So, and I will have you give your If you need to reach Jamie, her email is,
It's jmosconi@cmcspecialservices.org. You can just look up on our website and then they could find our contact information.
yeah, the, they will be more than happy to help you if you need.
Yep,
If
absolutely.
if you do not live in Cape May County, reach out to Jamie. She worked at the Atlantic County Institute of Technology. That's how I met her. Six, what are we talking now? Well, I've been out of there 4, 5. It's gotta be 6 or 7 years. I can't even count now.
Time guys goes by too quickly.
It does. It really does. And I thank you. And faces, I will send this over. And I am. Wait, how do I see these buttons on Zoom? I tell you, they shouldn't update these things because now I can't get the recording. Oh no, the, I can't get the recording.
That's okay. So I'll leave the conversation, then all of a sudden.
Well, because I have a question to ask you about some let's see. Oh, it's under
You got
report.